Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's Power Hour Teletown Hall. We're so glad to have you joining us. As we begin, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that our thoughts and prayers continue to go out with all those that were affected by the devastation from Hurricane Helene. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with you, and we're also thinking about those who have and will be impacted by Hurricane Milton. We certainly stand with you at this time, and it'll be a challenging time, but we're certainly thinking about each and every one of you. Yesterday marked the 8th anniversary of Hurricane Matthew, and that's an event that many of us remember, and it was a time of great challenge, but it was also brought together what many thought was the best in our community, and we're hoping to continue to see that happening in these other areas. Well, we're almost there. We're now 27 days, I think it is, away from Election Day, with early voting starting on October the 21st. It's an important time for our country and also for our community. So we're here today, and we're going to help provide some information on a couple of key issues. I'm also, speaking of election, pleased to announce that your Chamber of Commerce and its business members are once again adopting a polling place. So all those polling places in southern Beaufort County will be receiving complimentary lunches and snacks throughout the day for all the election day workers. They're so kind and generous of their time to volunteer, and I'm very proud of our business community for stepping up once again and being able to do that. Also, I want to give a special shout out to the Bayshore. They're the sponsors this year of our Adopt a Polling Place. Well, let's dive right into it. Today's lineup of speakers. Our first speaker is Joe Passman, and Joe is the chair of the Beaufort County Council. Joe spoke last week at our State of the Region event, and he shared many valuable pieces of information about the upcoming bond referendum and the Beaufort County transportation referendum as well on the November ballot. So Joe, we're glad to have you back with us today to be able to share information about that. And I think it's very timely having you on this morning with all that has been going on with hurricanes and how this would also most likely affect our evacuation routes. So we look forward to hearing from you, and then I'm sure we'll have questions for you afterwards.
Thanks, Bill. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm hoping that everybody can see that. Beginning, okay. So let me begin by talking about the state of the region. This is a story of growth and collaboration. South Carolina obviously is growing, and so is our region, as you can see from the stats here. South Carolina is the fastest growing state in the nation. Beaufort County and its neighbor are growing. Jasper County is the fastest growing county in the state. So the growth that we have has long-reaching impacts, and so that's why we're going to have a referendum. So the efforts that we need as we grow must match the demands from our community. We grow through conservation. Beaufort County has a green space program. It's the first one of its kind. We've saved 2 large pieces of property that are very meaningful. Gregory Neck was the first one. The property is actually in Jasper County. It protects 4,000 acres of watershed for Beaufort County. That's why it was purchased. Mitchellville is a very important tract of land, 26 acres, to preserve the history and culture of this particular piece of property. We're growing because of our infrastructure. And I'm going to go through these slides rather quickly. This is going to be available to you, so you can certainly take your time to go through each and every one of these, but I want to highlight certain aspects. So infrastructure is very important. Laurel Bay, we're having a pathway there. The public library, it's 6th public library to serve the needs of our community. We have the revitalization of the Lynn Brown Center. We have the workforce that's a simulation training lab through Buford Memorial. We have the new program that's going to be at TCL for the Workforce Training Center. That should start shortly. We have opportunities. We have workforce and affordable housing projects with the Coastal Community Development Corporation, Buford Memorial Hospital, and the Buford Jasper Housing Trust. Our community continues to grow because of the public safety services, the programs that we use. The school district is our partner in many of these. So we have relationships. We have LATS, Soloco, SCA, the Beaufort County Economic Development Corporation. These are unique opportunities to help us in the growth that we have and how we can handle it in the future. And it's our relationships. We're no longer just Beaufort County. We're no longer just Beaufort and Jasper County. We're a multi-county relationship. And you can see by the number of counties that we have here that affect our lives and how we affect their lives, because it's all about live, work, and play. Many people live outside our county, but work in our county, and vice versa. And we have a brand new administrator. We've done our new code of procurement. We've increased our transparency. And growth begins with us. We have our vision and our values. Our vision is about the quality of life that we have. It's about improving safety. It's about increasing our infrastructure, as you can see on the screen. And our value is our quality, our integrity, our innovation, our accountability, our collaboration, and our leadership that we're going to provide to handle these challenges. This is probably the most important slide here. This slide shows the various infrastructures that affect the quality of life. And I've highlighted 3 of them right now: transportation, safety, and our environment. And that's what this referendum is all about. It's handling these 3 particular infrastructures that we have. Every infrastructure that we have here affects the quality of life, but the 3 that have the most important impact right now are the 3 that are highlighted in red. Now, if I can continue on. So there are actually 2 referendums going on, one in Beaufort County and one in Jasper County. In Beaufort County, we're going to have a $950 million 10-year referendum that is $900 million for transportation projects and $50 million for Greenbelt, which is protecting our environment. Jasper County is doing a similar referendum, $470 million over 15 years, and 20% of their referendum, $94 million, is going to be set aside for Greenbelt, preserving the environment. So why the referendum? This says it all. It's all about safety. When you take a look at the statistics that we have here, they are shocking. Over the course of time, from January of 2017 to October of last year, we had over 400 fatalities. We had 13,000 injuries, 43,000 crashes. That's just on our highways involving vehicles. Add to that the pedestrian and bicycle crashes, injuries, and fatalities, and we know that we have a problem. The referendum is going to address that problem. Here are the 4 counties in our area, and those counties account for some of the most troublesome roads we have in our entire region. That is 170, 278, 46, 462, 315, and Highway 17. So the improvements have to begin with a regional effort, and there are three huge projects that affect both Beaufort and Jasper County, because many of our roads start in Beaufort County, but they don't end in Beaufort County. They end in Jasper County. One is called the Triangle. If you're not familiar with the Triangle, it is 170, 278, and Argent Boulevard. And what does it surround? It surrounds Sun City. That capacity and safety improvements will be made along those sections because 170 and 278 and Argent Boulevard are both in Jasper County and Beaufort County. 46 from 170, the 46 circle from 170 down to the Jasper County line is very, very important. It is for all of those people that actually come from Savannah to work on Hilton Head Island and other places. And then the 278 corridor, it is the replacement of the bridge, and it is the entire corridor from Moss Creek to exit 8, from Moss Creek down to well into Hilton Head Island. Right now, we'll stop at Squire Pope, but this referendum will go beyond that. So growth is not coming, it is here. It's our responsibility to handle the growth. And it's our strategic plan, starting with this referendum, that will let us grow together. So that's my little presentation, and I tried to do it within my 10-minute allotment, and I think I got it done.
Chairman Passman, you did. Thank you. Always very informative. Our first question today is coming from Ellis, and Ellis is asking how this referendum will protect our environment.
It will protect the environment because we already have money set aside in green space. Green space was approved 2 years ago. That particular project ends at the end of this year. We're going to continue it on in both Beaufort County and Jasper County to preserve additional lands. We're that because from the 46 circle in Bluffton all the way to past 462, that road will be widened. It will have changes in the ingress and egress, changes in the lighting patterns with actual traffic lights along the way to reduce that congestion. And one of the key points that Bill said, this was very apropos because of the hurricane that is coming from Florida again and affecting them. Every one of the routes that we have talked about in this referendum, 170, 278, 462, 46, 17, 315, all of those are our evacuation routes. If we do not upgrade those roads, we're in serious trouble if we have to evacuate.
All right, thank you. Next question is coming from Sam, and Sam is asking, why should we vote yes if the projects aren't complete from the last transportation referendum?
That's an excellent question. We've answered that from this standpoint. When you create a referendum, you are telling the people, we need X number of dollars to do a project. The fact of the matter is we have to have what is called skin in the game, which means our referendum money is used to get additional funding from the federal government, from the state government. In the case of the 2018 referendum, $80 million was set aside for the bridge project, coupled with money that came from the state and the federal government. We have not even started that project as yet. And the reason is it took 6 years for us to get to this point of adopting the rights to actually move the project forward through municipal consent from Hilton Head Island. Now we're in the design phase. And there is that one little word called COVID. During this time in 2018, COVID hit us. That literally shut down our country for a couple weeks. Everything became more costly. If you take a look at the statistics, 69% increase in what the projects cost because of COVID. And so we have the money, it's safe, but costs have increased. That's what we're going to do as part of this referendum, is finish what wasn't finished in 2018. And we believe, enough money to do the projects correctly in the next referendum.
All right, thank you. Lester is asking, if this does not pass, will my property taxes increase?
I can't say yes and I can't say no. The problem is not going to go away. There are only two ways we have to raise money to do the things we have to do: property taxes or sales tax. This is why we chose a sales tax referendum. It's the fairest way of tackling these problems. Everybody has said, well, wait a second, shouldn't the state be paying for this? We're in a unique situation in South Carolina. South Carolina is the 10th smallest state and the 4th largest for the road systems that it has in its state. Our state does not have the wherewithal, the capital, the funds to fix all the roads. They rely on their partners, which are the counties, to do that. So the referendum we're proposing, we believe, is the fairest way to do that, because it not only affects the citizens, but everybody else from outside Beaufort County who use our roads, so that we consider that to be the fairest way to do that.
Linda is asking if will be oversight involved, and also if there is, will citizens be participating on that committee?
The answer to that is yes and yes. We are creating a citizens oversight committee. There will be 7 members, 1 representing each of the municipalities, that's 4, 3 representing the unincorporated Beaufort County. They are citizens. They are not members of county councils. They are not members of municipal councils. They are not members of staff of either the municipalities or the county. They are our citizens who will oversee all of the projects that are designated to be done and the order in which they're going to be done.
All right, thank you. Drew is asking, if the referendum does not pass, what alternatives are being considered to address the region's growing transportation needs?
Well, we'll look at various plans that will come up again. We would have to wait another 2 years for referendum, and obviously the cost will increase. We may be able to do some projects. Obviously, we'll have money in the 2018 referendum to continue doing those projects. Some will be finished, some will not. So yeah, we'll have to assess that once the voters decide whether this referendum makes sense or not.
All right, Lisa is asking if the referendum will include the 5B project.
It is not. The 5B project is actually a LATS, the Local Area Transportation System study, been done as yet to see if 5B is a viable option. Until that is done, there's pure speculation as to whether that road is needed. But it is not included in the referendum.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Blake is asking what the status is on the Defusky ferry service. That's another item the county has been working on.
We are diligently looking at the ferry on a daily basis. We do have a contract with the ferry system. We're taking a look at that contract to ensure that the ferry system as it is being done meets every aspect of that contract.
Ellis is asking about transparency and confidence, and asking what the county is doing to help provide a level of comfort in that.
We are going around the county, have been going around the county for the last 2 weeks, meeting with everybody that we possibly can to assure them of what is in the referendum, what the money is going to be used for, why we have the second question. When you do the referendum for a 10-year period of time, we can't wait 10 years to collect all the money and then start the projects. We have in there the capacity to bond up to $515 million. Will we bond for all of that? The answer is no. Will we bond for some of that? The answer is yes. What we intend to do is to start some of the projects, some of the design projects with the money that we will have. And as we collect the money, we can pay back those bonds and we can do some of the projects that were earmarked as pathways. Obviously, you can't build the bridge. The bridge is already under design. That design is not going to be completed for another year and a half. So we don't need money for the design of the bridge. 170 and 278 are going to be long lead times, but there are other projects within the $900 million that we certainly can bond for and actually complete those in a short period of time and be able to pay back those bonds with the sales tax money. It's not a property tax. It doesn't affect anything. And that's why we're doing it that way.
Thank you. You touched on the bridge for a minute there. But Harold is asking, is the bridge corridor project part of the referendum? And if so, how much money is dedicated to that?
The bridge project is actually part of the referendum. Again, we have $90 million in there. That's not the shortfall that we have. The shortfall that we have is $190 million for the project. And if we put all $190 million into the referendum, then the state would say, why should we give you any money for the shortfall? You're going to get it from the taxpayers. So we've put in a portion and we're asking the state to provide the rest of the money.
I think this will be our last question unless another one comes in. Quinn is asking if smart traffic signals will be part of this on 278 on the mainland.
Yes, we are adapting. They're called adaptive signals, and it's going to be for the entire 278 corridor, the entirety of Hilton Head Island, the entirety of 278, the entirety of 170. So many traffic lights, all will be coordinated as a smart traffic system that will allow the traffic to flow better than it does right now.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you for being with us again this week, and very informative and helpful. We will have a link for his slides if anyone would like those. And then are those slides also available on the county website?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, and you go to BufordCounty.gov and you will see the whole history of all of the transportation referendums that we have, and all of the slides will be available.
All right. Great to have you this morning. Thanks again for being with us.
Thanks.
We'll go from one very important topic to another, and that's of affordable housing, and certainly a critical issue for our region. Bluffton, Hardeeville, and Jasper County are among the fastest growing counties in South Carolina. And today we're excited to welcome Victoria Smalls, the workforce and affordable housing manager for the town of Bluffton. She'll be sharing updates on Bluffton's affordable housing projects and how they're tracking the workforce housing challenges. Victoria, welcome and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. As you can see, I have our director, Kevin Eichard of the Growth Management Department. I am going to share my screen. You all see where we are? Yes. All right. So good morning again from the town of Bluffton. And I am going to continue to click. All right, our mission statement: we take care of our citizens, the town, and each other by continuously making our community and our organization better. I'm just going to click through some of them. Our strategic action plan. In order to implement the vision and mission of the town, requires discipline and collaboration between the town council, town manager, and staff. Bluffton will rely on the strategic focused areas and strategies of the strategic action plan. And here are some of our focus points here listed with the bulletins. I'm going to go to our next slide. These are what the affordable housing solutions for our strategic plan. Our neighborhood assistance program, private partnerships, our 4 town-owned parcels reserved for affordable housing, and our regional housing trust fund. Affordable in our workforce housing, the town of Bluffton is committed to improving the quality of families and communities by helping to develop, produce, and or assist with low-cost, affordable, and workforce housing in safe neighborhoods, including rental units, home ownership programs. As a regional leader, we will maximize strategic public-private partnerships and enhance ordinance policies while continuing to provide and seek opportunities for meeting our community's future housing needs. Now, our number 1 focus area here with the town is our neighborhood assistance program, and that's pretty much what I oversee here on this flyer, which we give out with our different nonprofit agencies that we have here in Bluffton. This just lists everything that our neighborhood assistance program deals with. Certain safe and dry repairs, such as roof repairs, wet floor repairs, anything that's interior or exterior to keep our current residents in their homes. We do property cleanup, we do abatement and demolition, we do sewer connection with also work with our engineering department with that. We do private road repair, tree removal, septic system repair, address posting for emergency services, and heirs property, which we kind of send out of the office to Charleston for the heirs property assistance. Our current and previous numbers for our neighborhood assistance program, as you all know, the fiscal year starts 2025. Our fiscal year starts in July 2024 and runs through July 30th of 2025. This is just a list of the current and past years with money that we have spent. So far for the current 2025 fiscal year, we have spent a little over or a little under $100,000, and that is going towards 20 homes. And again, that's just a mixture of everything that we have to offer, from the roofing, from the septic, and different things like that. So as of right now, today, we have helped 20 homes a little under $100,000. Difficulty here. Give me 1 second. We have collaborated with the Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust Fund, which is a local offset board with the local municipalities, and we were just awarded a check for $144,000 from the trust fund in order to continue our home repairs. So those funds will go towards our home repairs for our local town of Bluffton residents, to add to the funds that we have in our budget right now. Our public-private partnerships. We are working on 12 townhomes. Townhomes will be owner occupied, and that's going to be located at 1095 May River Road. They're going to be 6 2-bedroom units for 60, 80, and 100% AMI, as well as 3-bedroom units for the same AMI dollar amount. We do not have any time frames on that right now. We are still working with Beaufort Jasper Water and Dominion Energy to get some final say-sos on that. So we have not started breaking ground yet. Cross fingers that it will be before the end of 2024. So that is a town-owned project with some of the property that we own here in the town. I know a lot of you that are on right now are familiar with the AMI numbers for the year. These numbers change yearly. Beaufort County has changed, I want to say drastically, but it's, you know, it is what it is right now. And this is what we're looking at. So these are our current AMI numbers for that 60, 80, 100% time frames and numbers, excuse me, not time frames, but the numbers depending on how many are in the household. And of course, Jasper County is different. Sustainable development incentives. The picture that you're seeing now is our Wharf Street project that we opened several years ago, and the town owns this as well. The town strives to provide a sustainable, environmental, cautious, and business-friendly community. Excuse me. The intent is to implement the town's workforce affordable housing goals as identified in the comprehensive plan by providing incentives that will result in the provision of housing that is affordable to low and moderate income families. I won't read all of that, but I will give you guys the slides. You can share it later on after the presentation. We have partnered with 2 of the local apartment complex in the area, and they do have a number of units set aside for workforce and affordable housing. I'm sure there is a waiting list, but I do get calls every day. Can you give me a list of affordable housing? I'm looking for affordable housing. Can you please tell me where I can go? So as stated, the town has partnered with Crown at 170. They have 6 one-bedroom units and they have 6 two-bedroom units, and this is the starting rate for those units. So that is Crown at 170. And then formerly known as Madison at New Riverside is now Bristol at New Riverside. And they have 10 one-bedroom units only, and they start at $12.99 a month. The town of Bluffton itself, for our employees, the town of Bluffton employees, town council voted to assist with our first-time employee homeowners. So this is a breakdown of what our employees can go for, and this is just based off of the employee, not the family, not a wife or husband, just the employee. So this is a good start for us. As I stated, it is only for town of Bluffton employees. I don't want you guys thinking that it's a town-wide, it's only for employees. So this is a plus for us, something that we are looking forward to our employees using and getting advantage of being a homeowner. And I went through those fast, but I know we might have some questions lined up. So the heart of the Low Country, a town that appreciates the past, focuses on today, and is planning together for a greater future. And that is the end of my show. Stop share. Okay, there we go.
All right, Victoria, thank you. And yes, we do have some questions. And Kevin, hello to you. We're glad to have you joining us this morning as well. Great to see you.
Thanks, Bill.
Our first question is coming from Evelyn, and Evelyn is asking, do you currently have to live in the town of Bluffton to utilize the housing?
Yes, for the 12 townhomes, yes, you do have to be a resident of the town of Bluffton.
Also, for the neighborhood assistance, the repair program, you have to be in the municipal limits.
Okay, thank you. Casey is asking, how is the town of Bluffton ensuring these projects are accessible to local workforce?
When you say the projects such as the townhomes or the neighborhood assistance program?
You know, maybe you could address both. They just read the question from Casey, so I'm not really sure what where Casey was going with that.
If I could jump in, for the townhomes themselves, this is a public-private partnership with State of Mind partners. And what will happen is they will be responsible for working through the process to determine eligibility for individuals on an income basis to be able to purchase the townhomes. So that's for that side. And then also for the neighborhood assistance program, we do have an income verification process that we go through to determine eligibility. And then it is on a first come, first served basis. Also, from a funding standpoint, we have part of our general funds that is consistently funding the neighborhood assistance program. So our town council is very aware of it. We refer to the term NOAA, which was natural occurring affordable housing. And this is an opportunity for us to help to keep individuals in their homes in the town without having the pressures of the higher cost of living, the higher cost of repairs. This helps us to keep these individuals in the community.
Thank you. Casey is asking, when will the May project be complete and ready for move-in?
Well, we are all fingers, eyes, and toes crossed here that we hear something soon. Like I said, we're waiting for Dominion Energy to finish their lighting plan, Beaufort Jasper Water Sewer. So it's more than just us working on it. So we don't have a time frame right now. I cannot provide.
We will definitely have press releases as we're moving forward with this, and then have a better timeline.
Okay, thank you. Justin is asking, how many families have been helped through the neighborhood assistance programs?
So far this fiscal year, we have helped 20. Since I came on board in 2020, I'll give you exact numbers. We have helped over 100 since 2016. So way over 100 since 2016.
Okay, next question is from Emerson, and Emerson's asking, where do you see the biggest growth happening? Is it along Buckwalter or May River area, or where?
Right now, the majority of our growth is happening west of Buckwalter. You'll notice that most development is in the New Riverside area off of New Riverside Road. We are finishing up development in Mill Creek or Cypress Ridge, as well as the Four Seasons area. That's still continuing to grow. So the town, through all of our development agreements, we're approximately at 75% build out on residential. So we still have residential development available, but we're starting to see an uptick in commercial development. We're only about 35% developed at that standpoint. So you will start to see more commercial development, both retail as well as office and healthcare.
All right, our next question is coming from Bob. Bob is asking what the total demand for affordable housing in Bluffton, and also what the prioritization process, and if are essential workers a priority?
Can you repeat the first part of that question? Yeah,
so Bob's first part of the question was, what is the total demand for affordable housing in Bluffton?
Yeah, I think that we can look at this on a regional aspect, that the demand for affordable housing is dire right now. We are a partner in the Beaufort Jasper Regional Housing Trust Fund, and there's a commitment through the Housing Trust Fund, through the counties as well as the towns, to help fund this. So we definitely focus on a regional level. So we are part of the regional level to tackle affordable housing, as well as on the smaller community size level, with both the 12 units that we're looking to develop at the May. We have other properties that we are proposing for future affordable housing. So it is, for us, it is a top priority. It's a top priority of our town council. And the biggest thing is funding and making sure that we're getting with right partners in order to continue to move this forward.
Thank you. And the second part of Bob's question here is asking if are essential workers a priority for the housing?
Absolutely. I think that that's the backbone to our community. Just living in this region is the hospitality aspect of it. So definitely that is a top priority.
Okay, next question, and maybe our last question, is coming from Lindsay, and she's asking about the Living Well project on Buckwalter.
Well, I'm not sure if the Living Well project is.
Okay, We'll put you in touch with Lindsay, and the two of you offline can talk through that with more clarification.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Victoria and Kevin, thank you. Thanks for the great questions we've had as well. I appreciate your time today and look forward to having you all back for an update on that on down the road.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Next up, we have Sandy Gillis, Director of the Deep Well Project, and Siobhan Vasquez, Circles Chapter Manager. They're here today to talk about the Circles program, which is helping local families move out of poverty and toward financial stability. We're eager to hear more about it and how they're making progress and the difference that the program is making. Sandy and Siobhan, welcome. We're glad to have you this morning as well.
Well, thank you so much. We are excited to be with you guys. We do have just a few slides to share just to kind of help focus everything, but we, again, really appreciate the opportunity to speak with everyone today. Just for a quick background, the Deep Well Project got its start over 50 years ago here on Hilton Head Island to help people have access to safe drinking water in a time when there was no town hall and there were very few public services. Our founder, retired public health nurse Charlotte Heinrichs, figured out that if we could drill deep wells, then people could have clean water. So as the needs of our island have changed, and our services here at Deep Well have also changed to reflect those needs. Today we have a 5-day-a-week food pantry. We repair about 100 homes a year through our livable housing program, and we help thousands of people annually through emergency financial aid assistance with things like rent, mortgage, and utility bills. So all of these programs that we've done for almost 50 years really focus on stabilizing people in crisis. But a few years ago, we started a new program with very, very different goals that's very important to our business community here, and that's why we're excited to be here with you. And that program is called Circles. While the majority of our work continues to be to support emergency stabilization, the Circles program is different in that it focuses exclusively on helping people gain long-term self-sufficiency. To explain a little bit more about how this works, Siobhan Vasquez, who is the manager of the Circles program, is going to fill you in on the details.
Thank you, Sandy. Hi, everyone. So I want to begin by touching base on what Circles is. So Circles is actually a national organization whom we partner with. There are many chapters throughout the United States. There's 64 chapters in the US, in 25 states. There are other chapters upstate South Carolina as well, which include Greenville, Anderson, and Lexington, South Carolina. So I say all of this because I want folks to know that we are working within a network of folks who are collaborating. We're not reinventing the wheel. Circles USA has been around for over 25 years, and they're focused on that gap between crisis intervention and leading folks to self-sufficiency. And that's what's really important about the work that the Deep Well has been doing and what we hope to accomplish in the future. So we work with folks in the community to promote leadership development, and we use a very comprehensive community approach. Our two primary goals within the Circles program is to help families out of poverty. So we identify families who are highly motivated for educational or career advancement, to try to help better their situation, but we're also working on removing those barriers that keep people in poverty. So we're uncovering and identifying systematic barriers, whether it be transportation, childcare, educational resources, things like that. Like we're figuring out exactly what we can do for these families in particular, but what we could do for our community as a whole as well. So within the Circles program, we do use a multi-generational approach. So we focus on the cycle of poverty and recognizing that for a family that is in poverty, more than likely they were born into poverty, and there are disadvantages in development and education typically when you're in that situation. And it's very difficult to break that cycle of poverty without an external influence or some sort of external intervention. And that's what we hope to be. We hope to be a catalyst for change for that family by intervening and helping linking them to better resources and opportunities. So within the Circles program, there is a pretty significant focus on education and employment. We are helping families pursue higher education by identifying tuition assistance options, helping them gain information, seek guidance, understanding what their career options would be, helping them prepare just to go to college. Considering that folks come from different academic levels based on their experience and exposure to education, they may not be ready for higher education. Maybe they need to brush up on computer skills, language skills, things like that, so that they can be successful when they do decide to study. And then also by connecting folks to employment opportunities, we are helping connect them to community partners and organizations that can help advance education training options, help build better skills, just soft skills. We talk a lot about the soft skills that could be required. The hard skills can be taught. The soft skills are developed over time. So opportunities to help develop those. And another huge thing that we focus on is networking, building social capital. Oftentimes folks are connected to jobs and employment opportunities through someone who referred them or someone they know. Even understanding that people who live in poverty often don't even know who they could use as a reference because they don't have a lot of connections in the community. So by building community, we are helping folks advance their higher education and employment options. So the effectiveness of Circles nationwide, I'd like to focus on the increase in income. This is a long-term program. This isn't an overnight or a few weeks. We're working with families over the course of months and sometimes years to help get them to a place where they are financially stable. Over the course of 18 months is the minimum requirement that we ask folks to remain committed. Nationally, the average is a 76% increase in income for families. There are other gains with employment, education, home ownership, transportation, things like that. But I want to talk a little bit about what we've seen locally. So locally, we actually saw a higher increase in income than the national average. At 6 months, our group was at 35% as opposed to 30%. And at 12 months, our group saw an average increase of 61%. So I do want to note that that's the average increase. We've actually had folks double. I even have probably 2 or 3, I think, who almost tripled their income. And that was just by helping connect them to better employment opportunities and training. So 40% of the adults enrolled in our program are now attending classes at TCL. We had one recently graduate and she's gone on to USCB. So we're really proud of her. We've seen other, non-tangible things as well, things that you can't quite put a number on, enhanced budgeting, financial skills. Folks are improving their credit scores, establishing savings, understanding the implications of applying for credit cards at the store and how that affects your credit, and down the line, how that would affect your ability to be approved for a mortgage and things like that. It's the educational component that is really important. We're seeing increased in confidence, social skills, advocacy skills, better vocabulary, language and communication skills, and just understanding how that can take someone so far in the employment arena. And I think what's really important is the folks that are in the program are reporting that they are more confident in their ability to manage their own lives and deal with the just problem solving skills. What is now a bump in the road could have been catastrophic months ago because they just didn't know what to do or who to go to. And now they're more knowledgeable and prepared for what life throws at them. So one example I would like to share is we had a single mother. She reports that she has a much more positive outlook on life since being in the program. She has gained family, is what she says. She's enrolled in higher education. She was previously homeless, and now she's on a path to home ownership. She's connected with local organizations to try to help her obtain that. She's taking home ownership classes. She's understanding what she needs to do to get her credit in line and how much she needs to save up for that home. So just so much better prepared for what that journey realistically is going to look like. She and her children just have a renewed sense of purpose. They have meaningful connections. They're engaging in enriching activities within our community. And more recently, she's taken on a brand new job where she previously was working in an entry-level position with it was less than full time. And now she's got what she calls her first big girl job, which is providing her a living wage and benefits so that she and her children have connection to medical resources and everything that they need. So just one of our really great success stories that I wanted to share. So I can go on and on about circles, but I'll leave that for anyone who wants to reach out to us. I would be happy to take more questions. But I think for now, we can open it up to the group and see if anyone has any questions for us.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Our first, it's not necessarily a question, it's a comment, but it's coming from Kathy. And Kathy is saying that I was aware of Deep Well, but I was not aware of the Circles program. And thank you for what you're doing. Next question. Next, we have really a two-part question from Janice. The first part is this, is how does someone volunteer to be part of Circles?
Yeah, give us a call. We have a volunteer coordinator that can very easily go through all of the volunteer opportunities. Her name is Lori Alexander. Our phone number is 843-785-2849. And if you don't remember Lori's name, just let whoever answers the phone know that you're interested in volunteering. And if it's specifically with Circles, you can say that as well. We're always looking for folks. I mean, this is a huge initiative. It takes a cast of folks to help pull this off. We have regular meetings. We provide childcare for the participants in the program. We are really working hard to make sure that there aren't any barriers. So any volunteers that we can get would be really helpful.
And just to tag onto that, the skill set of the volunteers is really, really diverse. If you are a closet caterer and you want to help with the weekly meal, we've got a place for you. We are always looking
to be a part of it.
There really isn't a requirement. Like Sandy said, there's a place for everyone. We have volunteers that they're with us on a regular basis. We have some folks who we jokingly refer to as our super volunteers who are always at our door finding things to help with. But there isn't a minimum requirement per se. We want to honor whatever folks are willing to do and whatever time they're willing to give to our initiative.
Eddie is asking, what can local businesses do to contribute to the success of the Circles program?
Want me to take that one?
Sure.
Well, if you are in the food and beverage space, part of the program is every Wednesday night, we meet from 6 to 8. It is not your normal Hilton Head 6 to 8er, but it does start with everyone coming together, the volunteers, the moms, the dads, everybody comes together for a shared meal. So whether you like to cook, or maybe you like to write a check for somebody to cook for you. Anything in that food service is fantastic because all of our meetings do start with a shared meal. There's something magical about breaking bread together that seems to break down barriers and brings people together who never would have met before this program. So anything in that space, business-wise, is super helpful. The other front is as we work with these folks and improve their skills, improve their language, whatever language barrier they may, whatever challenge is holding them back. If we had a group of businesses, for example, that have opportunities for people to do internships or apprenticeships with, that would probably be a great connection point for us. And it would really be a win-win to give some of these people a chance to have, as Siobhan said earlier, their first big boy or big girl job. But frankly, these people, if they are committed to coming every single week, week in and week out for 18 months to a program, you're going to find a great employee that has that same work ethic and that same understanding of priorities. So any kind of partnership we could build with the business community has the potential to be a win-win between the folks in the program. And I know businesses who are out there looking to find those people that do have that work ethic and that shared goal of we're going to make this successful.
Thank you, Sandy.
Sandy, and I'll have Tom Hens on our team here reach out to you regarding our internship and apprenticeship programs that's part of our Low Country Jobs Now. And I think that'd be a healthy discussion in ways the chamber and other businesses, as you mentioned, can jump in and support.
Great.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Next question is coming from Tiffany, and Tiffany is asking, what do volunteers say is some of the biggest rewards by being part of the program?
Oh, I think it's just gaining that sense of community. It's very rewarding to see the families just transform from, typically when they first come to us, they're very reserved and they're not feeling very confident about where they are in their lives. But gaining that connection, it's a two-way street. So what we see is that families they're connecting with people in the community that they would have never had the opportunity to meet, but vice versa, volunteers are making a difference in someone's life. Within the children's program, we have volunteers that come together and we just love it. We see the kids come in and they're like family. It's like getting together with your favorite teacher every week. So the volunteers within our children's program, they're developing some really incredible bonds. And I think one thing that we do focus a lot on that our volunteers often report back is this is an opportunity for them to have a more intimate understanding of how poverty affects folks. So knowledge and growth within their own lives on how they can better advocate and support the families that are in our community that make up those, what we call the ALICE is a term that is quite frequently used. That's asset limited, income constrained, and employed. So some folks refer to them as the working poor, but these are folks that are working really, really hard, and they're people too. So for the volunteers to make those connections and meet some really amazing people, it's very meaningful as well.
We've had a lot of our volunteers report back that they can think back to their younger days and that one person that took a special interest in them, that really reached out and helped them and motivated them. And sometimes they were cheering for them and sometimes they were shaking a finger at them, but they remember those people who cared about them and helped get them on a better trajectory. And I think this program tends to volunteers who have had that experience being on the receiving end of that now want to be the ones who they're in a place in their life where they can be the giver and they can help, they can be that ally and that friend to help people to get on a better path for their life. And I think that's where a lot of that satisfaction comes for our volunteers.
We'll conclude this morning with a comment from Art. And Art is saying thank you for this very informative presentation. And I was not aware of the Circles program locally or nationally. Very helpful. So that's from one of our listeners. And I want to thank each of you for being with us today, and not only for being with us, but the impact of the community that you're making and what you do each and every day. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for today. Certainly want to once again thank all of our speakers for this very informative Power Hour and being with us. Also, thank you for tuning in, caring, and listening today. And then remember that early voting starts on October the 21st, and mark your calendars. Again, thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your week.